Hey guys, Austin here, and welcome back to another Pixelmon discussion video here on the channel. Today we are debating the inevitable. Is Cobblemon better than Pixelmon, or is Pixelmon better than Cobblemon? I'm going to try my best to be as concise, as clear, as honest, and fair as I possibly can be while I am running around in a Pixelmon-based world. I have the Cobblemon spreadsheet pulled up on my right that has all the current features they've got going so far on their mod, and we're going to do sort of a compare-contrast, which sounds better than the other, which just based on what I'm going with. No, I have not loaded into a Cobblemon world yet. I am going solely based off of the features they have listed on their CurseForge page. So if you're about to comment and be like, well, this isn't a real discussion, you haven't even tried the mod. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it is literally the same thing. The experience is only slightly different based on mechanics, which I will be reading off of. So I don't need to go into the world to catch the Pokemon, to know how to catch the Pokemon, to know how that works. It's the same. The interface is just different, and I've seen how that looks. So do not worry. Anyway, let's get this discussion going. Of course, while I'm going over any of these points, feel free to leave comments down below. Please be civilized. Do not attack me or any other people in the comment section for having different opinions than you. You're allowed to disagree. Just don't start typing hate messages, because then I'm going to remove you. Anyway, as I accidentally throw the Pokeball of my unknown subscribe icon, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We do a ton of Pixelmon content on the channel, and who knows, maybe we'll switch to Cobblemon if I decide to. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's get this discussion going. So let me read to you the description of Cobblemon. The goal of Cobblemon is to be a Pokemon mod for everyone and to integrate much better into mod packs and Minecraft itself than other Pokemon mods. I like how they had to add that in there. Our source code is open to encourage not only community contributions but also forking. I don't know what forking is, but the third line is pretty nice. It says they allow people to contribute, make contributions, but I'm pretty sure Pixelmon is now doing that as well. So comparison, same thing right there. I don't know why they had to add in the we're being better than other Pokemon mods. If you're writing a mod description, I would say you should just say what your mod is about, not already try bashing someone else. But again, that's just me. I'm just being honest. First impression, reading the statement. As to being better than other Pixelmon mods, for those who don't know, there's actually 3 Pixelmon mods right now. There is Pixelmon, there is Pixelmon Reforged, which is the one I'm currently playing, which is the original one that was created back in like 2010. There is Pixelmon Generations, which got created during the time that the original Pixelmon mod had that lawsuit issue with Nintendo back in like 2012 or 2014. I forget when exactly. So they had to stop production for a while, but then this new Pixelmon mod came up, which literally just, you know, did the exact same code as Pixelmon now called Pixelmon Reforged. But that they named theirs Pixelmon Generations, same thing, and people had the same thing back then where they were like, this is the new Pokemon mod, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so then now we have Cobblemon, which is literally just saying the same mission statement again as we're gonna just do the same thing again. And I know it's not exactly the same thing, and like I said, that's the whole point of this video, but I hope you guys are just ready for a 20-minute video, because I haven't even gotten to the bullet points yet. Anyway, I'm giving my honest thoughts and opinions, guys. You can't be mad at me for that. So, first feature, capturing Pokemon to expand your team. Battle wild Pokemon to gain experience, level up and unlock new moves, and evolve your Pokemon. Craft a piece of your healer as soon as you can. So yes, that is exactly like how Pixelmon works. You can battle Pokemon, you can catch Pokemon, you can have 6 Pokemon on your team, just like the regular Pokemon game. All Pokemon from Generation 1, including their later generation evolutions and pre-evolutions, some Pokemon from other generations as well, are in the mod. Yes, so if you guys didn't know, Cobblemon is not complete yet. They do not have all, I'll say 8 generations to be fair. They do not have all that yet. They are working on adding them, and for those who don't know, their Pokemon look more blocky textured than Pixelmon's more rounded, smooth textures. But I'll get to that point later, so just hold your thoughts on that before you start typing. But yeah, so Cobblemon right now prides itself on being the original sort of Pokemon textures back in Pixelmon from like 2012, where the textures were all blocky. And to this day, some people still prefer that, which again, I will get back to that point. Do not worry, there's key notes about that. Battle using Pokemon Showdown. Engine for competitive battle mechanics in many cases haven't been yet implemented. The message that will go with certain actions, but the actions work. So Pokemon Showdown's another whole website and stuff, but I guess they're going to allow that to be incorporated somehow, that you'll be able to, like, I guess maybe transfer the teams over so you can do that. That's what I'm gathering from that message. I don't have much input on that because I don't know. So some Legends Arceus style mechanics such as move relearning, physically running from battle, and evolving your Pokemon when you decide. Very interesting. So let me touch on those just key individual points. So in Legends Arceus, in Pokemon Legends Arceus, the regular game, you are allowed to openly move relearn your moves, and Scarlet and Violet has that now too, where you can just access your moves. Currently, Pixelmon does not have that, so that is a one-up for Cobblemon. I don't know. Also, keep in mind, when I'm reading all this, guys, when I'm reading all this, believe it or not, mods can update past this point. Cobblemon for sure still updating, and Pixelmon has a massive update planned soon as well. Both mods will constantly be updating, so before you say, oh, that does it, that's why I'll never play this mod again, or that's why I'm switching this mod, keep in mind, mods do change and update over time. Anyway, back to the discussion. So yeah, that's nice that you can do the move relearner. In Pixelmon, you have to find the move relearner, which randomly spawns in your world, and then you can do the thing. So I'm not sure if that's ever going to change, but that's currently how we're standing. Physically running from battle, so instead of clicking run, you could just literally walk away and the battle will end. It's an interesting feature. I don't think that changes the mechanics too much, because that only ever existed in Pokemon Arceus. Not even Scarlet and Violet has that feature. You still have to click run if you want to leave the battle, which is how Pokemon has always worked. But again, that's more like a just, do you think this is cool or not? Thoughts on that, let me know. And the final feature from Legends Arceus, you can decide when your Pokemon evolves, meaning that when a Pokemon gets an evolution, they get a little icon next to their name saying you can evolve this now, but you can choose not to, versus the screen just kind of abruptly flashing in your face. But keep in mind, you can always cancel the evolution in regular Pokemon and in Pixelmon. But again, if I was going to personally pick, I do like the idea of you deciding when the Pokemon evolves. But the whole reason why that's a thing is because in Legends Arceus, that took place way back before time, before there was all this stuff set in place. So it was more like you didn't know how the Pokemon was meant to evolve. So you're kind of like, hey, can you evolve now? Do you want to evolve? Okay, go and evolve. But again, like I said, that's more like a how do you prefer the difference? That is completely up to you guys to determine that. Again, that's how that works. Toggle free movement during battle. You can build, break, and fight mobs while in Pokemon battles. So again, in Legends Arceus, you could run around while the fight was going on. You didn't have to stay glued to the screen. I kind of like that. But the idea of you can go anywhere in your world while you're doing it is kind of like, but do you do it in the battle? You're going to stay by the battle and do it anyway. Again, that's another up to you. Pixelmon doesn't have that feature. You're locked into the battle. You can't move your character around at all. But if you're playing a multiplayer, obviously other players can move around you, so it's like that. Apricorn trees in 7 colors. Oh boy, let's talk about this. Harvest apricorns by right-clicking them, and harvest as a chance to also drop a seed so you can grow a new tree. And you can use bone meal and apricorns too. So let me break this down. So I don't know if you guys see the comparison on screen. Now, if I remember, I'll try to add it. But these are what the 2 apricorn trees look like in both Pixelmon and Cobblemon. They look similar now. You guys know how the old Pixelmon tree looked like, which a lot of people liked. But these are how currently the trees are looking, where it's a tree that actually grows the fruit on individual areas, and you can just pluck the fruit. What Cobblemon is saying how they're doing it is they're allowing you to just get a chance of getting a different seed to just replant, whereas in Pixelmon, the apricorn is the seed that you can just replant upon harvesting it, so that's about the same. I'm not going to spark too much of a difference there. And you can bone meal the apricorns, you can do that in both. So, very similar. It's just more like your preference for how they look, if we're really going to bring it down to that, but that's just the only difference. They work fundamentally the same way. And yes, you need apricorns to craft Pokeballs in both mods. There is no difference there. Many animations for each Pokemon to make your partners feel more alive. I figure that's standard at this point. Pokemon and Pixelmon and Cobblemon both have unique animations to move their characters around to make the Pokemon not be a stiff block. Like I said, that's pretty standard. I wouldn't like say that's weird for that being any different. You know what I mean? Pokemon spawning everywhere than you think. You can have all kinds of places if you want to catch them all. Support even major biome mods, including the Terralith mod and the Oh Biomes You'll Go mod. So what that's meaning is you can install those mods. The Pixelmon or Pokemon from Cobblemon will also spawn in those biomes. That's how Pixelmon works too. Pixelmon has compatibility with Biomes You'll Go, Biomes of Plenty, and Terraforged, whereas Cobblemon has Terralith and Biomes You'll Go. So again, it's about the same, just one having one more mod than the other in terms of compatibility, but You don't have to even install those mods to make it work. It's just to have another mod that's compatible. Evolution stones can be found anywhere underground with different stones located in different biomes. So that's meaning that the evolution stones will spawn in different biomes. In Pixelmon, that works similarly as well, whereas the evolution stones, like for example, the thunderstone will spawn in the mountain biomes, the firestone will spawn near lava underground. So it's about similar how that's going to work. Not going to dive into much detail there. That makes sense. Healers that need time to charge after being placed, but you can pick them up and move them at any time. Interesting. So healers in this mod, in Cobblemon, have a recharge time, whereas in Pixelmon, they're infinite. You can just keep using them. Okay. All Pokemon from generations 1 to 8 can be spawned and battled with, but if you don't have the model yet, then they will display as the substitute doll. If you don't have a model yet, I don't know what that means. If you don't have the model yet, then it will spawn as a substitution doll. I don't entirely know what that's trying to say, but yeah, that's just saying all the Pokemon can be used and battled with. Okay. Full support for custom variations and, quote, fake mon using data packs and resource packs. You'll find out how to using our guide if you want to. So they're basically saying they are allowing you to create your own type of monster to add into their Cobblemon mod that can actually be used if you want, or you can make your own custom textures and stuff. As you guys may or may not know, Pixelmon has its own custom textures as well. It has specific Pokemon that spawn with different forms and stuff, like the pink Pokemon, the Valencian Pokemon, the Shadow Pokemon, the Spirit Pokemon, etc. So that's about the same thing. However, I'm noticing that Cobblemon doesn't say anything about shinies. I'm assuming you can get shiny Pokemon in Cobblemon, but it doesn't specifically say that anywhere. And total support for both Fabric and Forge for Cobblemon. And it added a note saying we recommend using Fabric for our mod because it's better performance. Okay, so that's about everything I think that I can fully reference. Oh yeah, the battle UI screen. So a lot of people are saying they are enjoying Cobblemon for the battle UI screen. It's a lot cleaner. I can't give perspective on that right now because I'm used to the Pixelmon battle screen right now. I can't say one versus the other is better. To me, they look about the exact same. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. They pretty much are the same, in my opinion. Now, let me talk about the thing I wanted to bring up earlier about the key difference. There's two key differences in why Cobblemon right now is a lot better for people. I'm not going to go into the whole, well, their Torterra has like 8 variations where Pixelmon's Torterra doesn't. Guys, when you have different mod creators, they're going to make different forms for different Pokemon that they like. That's just how that's going to work. You can't compare that. I would never try to compare that saying, well, they have this texture for this Pokemon. It doesn't matter. Magikarp in the end is going to have 100 textures anyway. But let me talk about the two keynotes. So right now, Cobblemon is in version 1.19. If you guys didn't know that, they are in technically the most recent version of Minecraft in terms of 1.19, whereas Pixelmon is in 1.16.5. A slightly older version at this point. Some might consider still a main version, but, you know, if we're really looking at it, it isn't at this point. But they have expressed that they are going to be updating past 1.16. It's not like they're stuck there forever. They were in 1.12 for, like, what, 8+ years? And now they're in 1.16? So we can't really say, oh, they're never going to update again to a new version. It's going to happen. They just have other priorities right now. But it really is coming down to sort of just what is your perspective. Now, the last thing you're going to probably say is, but Pixelmon, although it has these smooth, cool textures like this unknown right here, I liked it when they were blocky. Well, let me tell you all something. I don't know if you follow the Pixelmon official Discord page or their website or Twitter or anything, but they announced in their next update, they are going to allow you, wait for it, they are going to allow you to toggle between the textures. You are going to be able to select retro, which will make everything look like blocks again, the Pokemon, or you can keep them in their current high definition models. Yes, Pixelmon is going to allow you to switch the textures from one to the other. So you can no longer say, but Cobblemon allows you to have blocky Pixelmon's going to have it too. And they probably had that in mind for a while now, but I can imagine why they're pushing that this update. We have waited about 2 months for this current update, and it is planned to release very soon. But there is a reason why they have taken so much time on this next update. If you guys don't know, Pixelmon is adding their first Paradox form Pokemon. They're adding a few new Gen 9 Pokemon. They're completely revamping the battle UI to make it not crash anymore, or they're hoping to at least. So it'll have a new UI. It'll look different. They have a bunch of new things coming, and they're going to, of course, have the ability to swap between textures. So before anybody starts saying that that is their primary reason for playing Cobblemon, just keep in mind that Pixelmon has it now too. And before anyone's like, well, you're clearly biased towards Pixelmon. Heck yeah, I'm biased towards Pixelmon. I've played Pixelmon for 10 years now. Any new mod that's being created, listen, this is now my opinion. So before anyone starts being like, oh, I knew it. Listen. Any mod can come out new and say, we're going to do better than the other mod. But based on experience, if you try making a game or a mod that is an exact duplicate almost of a previous mod or game, you're going to have a lot to live up to in comparison. If you don't come right out of the gate looking completely unique and innovative, anyone can just look at can just look at your mod and be like, it's the exact same thing. And most of the features that I'm seeing from Cobblemon is the exact same thing as Pixelmon. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, that's a bad thing. But right now, it's looking like the only positive for Cobblemon is it's in 1.19. Everything else... Oh, I forgot to mention, the crafting recipes for Pokeballs are slightly different. In Cobblemon, you just have to use apricorns and minerals, whereas in Pixelmon, you still have to craft the lids and bases or whatever. So technically, Cobblemon is better with that. Anyway, sorry about that. I forgot to mention that earlier. It's going to come down to preference. I know some of the changes recently in Pixelmon have sparked a little bit of controversy in people's minds where they're upset with the flying animation, for example. They don't like how flying works currently, which they never finished updating the flying, by the way. They're still working on that for 1.16. They've just kind of put that in the back burner at the moment and just made it stable because they're working on adding all the gyms back. They're working on adding Generation 9, you know what I mean? And a lot of people are upset with how the daycare system currently works with how you get eggs in Pixelmon, but I laugh at this because I'm pretty sure Cobblemon doesn't have either of those features yet, flying on Pokemon or being able to get eggs yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they have those features yet, so I don't know what the argument is. And I'm saying that because I've literally had people come into my comments and tell me, well, Cobblemon is better because it doesn't have this bad feature, and I'm like, but it doesn't have the feature at all, so how can you say, you know what I mean? Anyway, you guys can debate all this in the comments all you want. Please be civilized. If I'm gonna wrap up this discussion, it's gonna leave me with just saying I'm gonna stick with Pixelmon. If Cobblemon finishes like all their adding new stuff, I might do a review on it in the future. But as someone commented on my video yesterday, Cobblemon's still in early development. I don't think it's fair that you can't compare them. Well, I don't think it's fair that people can come into my comments and tell me that this mod sucks now because this mod exists. It's always going to be opinion based. You're never going to win any argument if someone's just going to close out their mind and be like, well, this is better now done. Okay, then go and play it. By all means, guys, go and play it. I will have the downloads to both Cobblemon and Pixelmon in this description of this video. You guys can go check out both, play both to your heart's content. Don't tell me that it didn't load correctly because you tried installing it on the wrong version of Minecraft. But that's it for this discussion. I'm sticking with Pixelmon for now, unless somehow something happens and the mod shuts down, never comes back again. I don't know. Then we'll, I guess, switch to Cobblemon. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments down below. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new, because we are going to be covering the new updates of Pixelmon coming very, very soon. And I hope to see you all then. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe. Goodbye.